Today I'm going to talk about overcoming the challenges of becoming a software as a service product manager. So before I begin, I want to give you a little bit of background about who I am. I was born and raised in New York City. I went to Hunter College and I studied geography and economics. I started my career in the tech world as a customer service representative, literally answering emails and phone calls at a pet food ordering online company called PetFlow. Eventually I became a quality assurance analyst and then a business analyst, and then I transitioned into product. I've been in product for 5 years and I'm currently a senior product manager at Olo. Now I want to share a little bit more information about what Olo is and what we do. It is a white label point of sale integrated solution for restaurant brands to provide online ordering. This means that clients are able to offer online ordering without investing or creating in their own infrastructure and website to actually offer that service. White label allows us to offer our products to customers without the customer knowing who is actually providing that service. So if you've ordered from Shake Shack or Sweetgreen or Five Guys, you've used our service. For the foodies in the room, Danny Meyer, CEO of Union Square Hospitality Group, which owns Manhattan, Blue Smoke, Gramercy Tavern. Great place to eat if you're looking for dinner reservations. He's an investor in Olo and also a board member. So now I'm going to share with you the challenges through my perspective working for a SaaS company. Some of you may have already experienced these challenges in your day-to-day, or you will in the future. So 1, adjusting the product requests from a diverse set of stakeholders. 2, aligning the product strategy with the overall business approach. And 3, balancing short-term and long-term goals. So challenge 1, addressing product requests from a diverse set of stakeholders. What does that mean and why is that a challenge? For example, at PetFlow, where people order pet food online, there is one customer, the person that's ordering the food. I also worked at Guggenheim Partners, which is a business and capital markets arm of Guggenheim Securities, which is a investment and capital markets business of Guggenheim Partners. I worked on internal web applications, so we also allowed customers to have one product, one solution per customer. So for example, if a sales trader wanted to know how much commission he's made, we had a single solution for that. If a compliance officer wanted to know whether the analysts are properly representing any potential conflicts of interest in their articles, we also had a solution for that. If an investment banker wanted to check if a potential client is on a global terrorist list, we also had an app for that. So you get the point. At Olo, we have a single white label product with over 300 paying customers, each with millions of customers themselves. So we are having to balance different stakeholders with different problems, which can also change over time. So I thought it'd be fun to share a visual. This is me in the middle, wearing my product manager hat, working in my product area, and I'm being pulled into many different directions. So on the right side, there are customers. These are the customers that are ordering the food online. Then on the other side, we have the sales team, the CEO, the board of managers, each with their own opinion about what the ordering experience should be. Above me are the many brands that we service. These are our clients. Some of these names you've probably already eaten at. And they also have their own opinions and their own operations and efficiencies that they would like to see improved. At some point, these brands would also want to branch out into catering, or maybe they'll want to employ a call center and have a call center handle their phone orders. So that's another type of platform that we should support. To make matters more complicated, ordering food online isn't just ordering food online anymore. Some customers want to pick up their food from the restaurant. Other customers want it delivered. Then we also have customers who want to do curbside pickup, which means that they can drive up to the store and have someone deliver the food to the car. There's also drive-through and catering, which has its own set of features. So all of these things have to be considered. Now let's talk solutions. How do you, as a product manager, handle all of the different problems that need solutions from the different stakeholders? Let's start with understanding your company's top line goal. Depending on the goal, you will then prioritize the problems that will help you and your company reach that goal. So let's say your company wants to double the number of paying clients by 2021. Which problems would you prioritize? You would likely prioritize problems that will help your sales team sign up more clients. This could mean products that help internal teams deploy clients faster, or building out features that clients want over the features that customers actually use. Now, let's say your company wants to double the number of orders being placed on the platform by 2021. Signing up more clients will likely still be a priority, but you would also likely prioritize solutions that would help customers check out faster, and maybe even invest in products that help existing clients gain more customers, or features that will increase retention. This is why understanding your company's North Star, or the top line goal, is very crucial, because it influences the type of problems and solutions that you'll prioritize. All right, so now we know our company's top line goal, and we know the problems we currently face. So how do we prioritize the problems that will help bring us closer to our goal? I'm going to share with you what I use, and I call it the funnel. So this is a funnel. It's sideways. I know it's not supposed to be, but it is. And let's pretend that you're working on an MVP feature, and maybe there are different steps that need to happen before you can actually go live with the feature for a client. And let's pretend that you haven't created a way for clients to onboard themselves, because maybe you're still proving out the value of this feature, and you're not sure if you want to invest your efforts and resources into the onboarding process. So what I like to do first when I'm presented with a workflow is I like to map it out. Seems very simple. And you just literally put all the pieces together and see, how do we get from A to B? And in this example, the clients are signed. There's an onboarding process that happens internally. Then there's a point in the process where the client is ready to go. And let's pretend that there is some kind of dependency. Maybe you're working with a partner. Maybe there's an integration that needs to happen. There's just something going on that you need to do before the client is ready for success. And then finally, the client is live with a feature. And then at this point, you're able to start tracking the KPIs and the OKRs that are important to the client. After you do this, what I like to do is quantify how many clients are in each step, or whatever metric that you're measuring. So I'm going to use clients. And so let's say that you have 1,000 clients signed, and about half of that is being onboarded. A little bit more than half of that is ready to go. And you have 200 clients that are being prepared for success, and you have 189 live with a feature, and 185 being affected for the KPIs. So your goal here is to, So your goal here is to, your goal here is to get 1,000 clients signed, and 1,000 clients live with the feature. Pop quiz: if you were presented with this problem and you were to figure out which part of this funnel to focus your resources to unblock this funnel so that you can get 1,000 clients signed to 1,000 clients live with the feature, which part of this funnel would you choose to invest your resources in? Anyone? You'll do the onboarding? So most people would, right? But it's a funnel. So it gets smaller and smaller towards the bottom of it. And I would argue that you would want to focus your efforts here. Partner and platform preparing the client for success. And why is that? It's because, remember I mentioned there's a dependency. So there's something happening that's not 100% in your control, and you would want to figure that out. Like, how do you get that to be 100% in your control? What do you have to do? Do you have to do more with a partner? Do you have to create another integration? Do you have to create a new product to unblock this? You want to get to a point where you can reasonably say, as soon as the client is ready to go, they're on, just like that. You can turn them on in half a day or less than that, right? That's the key. And then you can focus on, okay, now that we have clients that are able to be live very quickly and reasonably, how do we get more clients through the pipeline? Because before this, you can argue, well, we can just throw more bodies at the problem in the beginning. Like if it's 10 people per client to do the onboarding, let's just do that for now, see how things go, before you invest development resources, which are really expensive, at the problem. Challenge 2. So this challenge isn't specific to a SaaS business, but in my experience, it is more of a challenge when you're trying to sell both B2B and B2C products. aligning the product strategy with Olo's business approach. And there's going to be two approaches I'm going to talk about: the sales-driven approach and the product-driven approach. So let's talk a little bit more about what these terms mean. In a sales-driven business, the business gets information on its customers and subsequently develops a product based on the information gathered. Customer comes first in this case, and the product comes second. In a product-focused business, they tend to focus on the product that's being offered rather than the customer. So it's product first, customer after. In this business, the emphasis is on marketing to inform of the users of the product, creating a unique product, and positioning the business in the market. So you would think about Apple, Amazon, Google. These are all product-driven companies. A product manager plays the same role in both types of business approaches, but our strategies are different. Like I discussed in Challenge 1, you have to align your strategy to the company's top-line goal. So remember, the top-line goal is the North Star, and that is our focus. And as a product manager, our purpose is to make a good product, but you also need to ensure that the company meets their goals without jeopardizing the integrity of the product that you are, as a product manager, managing. So what do? You need to create a vision. You need to create a vision and a roadmap, and you need to sell that vision continuously. You need to influence and be a voice for the product. In order to do that, you have to become passionate about your vision and your product, because you will find yourself repeating your vision to different teams, and sometimes the same teams, over and over and over again. You will have to be the biggest advocate for the product. As you can imagine, other teams are also focused and worried about their own day-to-day. For example, the engineers are worried about the scalability, security, stability of the platform. The sales team wants to drive more business. The customer service team is an advocate of the customer, so they're going to care about whatever the customer cares about. The marketing team is focused on positioning the company in its best light. However, the purpose of all of these stakeholders ultimately is to achieve the top-line goal of the company. So your job as a product manager is to get buy-in so that you can drive your product vision forward. Without the support of your engineers, sales, customer service, and marketing teams, your product will not succeed. This might seem pretty obvious, but when we are at our desks heads down, focused on our own day-to-day, it's very easy to lose sight of that. So far we talked about aligning your vision with the company's top-line goal and pushing that vision forward. But inevitably, there are things that come up that don't quite align with your roadmap. Maybe there is a really important potential customer with a very specific demand for a feature, or maybe there are projects that are very dear and close to your heart that did not make the priority for the roadmap. Sometimes a short-term feature and support work is focused on an emotional response as opposed to a rational one. For example, maybe a customer contacted their sales team and complained about some functional deficiency in your product. This raises the alarm of your sales team, and they escalate it to your C team, and then they start worrying about the bottom line. And then this means that a relatively small problem is now a big problem. It sounds familiar, right? This leads us into challenge 3, balancing short-term goals against the long-term vision. We rarely have the luxury of doing a full end-to-end analysis of some of the short-term asks that come across our desk. At the same time, we can't risk being seen as obstructive, and we can't succumb to analysis paralysis, especially when we're faced with these short-term asks. So what do? What sometimes happens is that stakeholders think that they can sneak multiple small asks, pieces of work, and not negatively impact the longer-term vision. As product managers, we know this isn't the case. We know that everything we want to do will have a cost. It's our job to assess, report, and repeat this cost as we make the decision to perform the short-term work. So you should assess the data and your reality. You know your product better than anyone. You looked at the data, you researched the customers, and you know whether the short-term goal being asked of you is a one and done or whether it can feed into the foundation for future work. You also want to be practical and pick your battles. If you always say no, your stakeholders may not take you seriously. But if you're able to concede some points at the right times and for the right reasons, a firm no will have that much greater of an impact. This doesn't mean that we should bend over backwards. It means that we need to ensure that we are not wasting too much time doing too much research on something we'll never do, or on something that's a done deal, regardless of the outcome of your research. We need to ensure that people are making informed decisions, and that sometimes means making decisions based on incomplete information. At the same time, we can't make reckless choices. We have to have some reasonable basis upon which to build up our decisions. And finally, you should stay the course. Your vision serves as the North Star for every action taken to enhance the product. And if adding a feature will not help your product achieve its vision, then the value of that feature should be diminished. So what did we learn today? We learned how to prioritize problems based on what matters to the company, be passionate about your product, and sell your vision to the rest of the organization. We learned that getting buy-in from other teams is crucial to your product success. Truly understand what's being asked and how it fits into the world around you. Build a process that allows you to collect and analyze data. Switch the perspective from firefighting to one that's centered on data, and make decisions based on the right amount of objective data. Thank you for listening.